founder of Bliss Finance, where we train you to become your own financial boss. I have been in financial services industry over 25 years, helping people to get out of their financial mess. I've seen it all. I've done it all to help people to get back on track to the point that they be able to live in abundance and joy. That is what life is meant to be, right? And every single time when I see people have an issue, it all boils down to budgeting. And why budgeting? The reason budgeting is not done correctly is because everyone is telling you that how you budget is take your net income minus expenses and come up with an amount. That is how you budget your money every single month. Well, if this really works, then why do we have people, they're only one paycheck away from being broke? Why is it we have 1 out of 3 Americans are not saved for retirement? And why is that 70% of people are still worried about medical or catastrophic expenses because they don't have anything saved up? So what I believe in budgeting is bucketing. That is correct. You gotta bucket your money in a very specific way. And when I say specific, I don't want for you to have to worry about your needs and wants. To me, to live, you should have the freedom to do whatever you want to and enjoy. I don't want to take anything away from you to enjoy the basis of life, to enjoy sharing with family, to enjoy about giving. That is how I want to train you to really budget your money in a bucketing way. Now, before we get started, I'm just going to kind of give you a framework of how the budgeting works. First, you got to make sure that you know exactly where you stand every single month. I mean, that is a given. You got to know where are your bills going right now. So we want to start taking an inventory of where everything is. So first, we need to know exactly what are all those mandatory expenses. What are some of those bills that you got to pay that is going to put roof on your heads? Rent, mortgage, some of the basic utilities, and so forth. Also, what is the food? And I'm not talking about restaurant. I'm talking about basic milk, bread, and butter. That's going to put some food in the belly to the point you can generate some fuel to get by through the day. So those is what I call the mandatory. You got to make sure you take an allocation of what you've got. The second thing I want you to exercise is what exactly are some of the bills that you are going to pay either semi-annually or annually. What I mean by that is you have homeowner associations, you have taxes that you're going to pay at the end of the year. So those is what I mean. But also you have insurances that I do. Now, if you have a car insurance that you're paying every single month, it's time for you to not to do that. Do you know that it actually costs you in the long run if you pay it every single month? It is best to have everything either pay semi-annually or annually, if that's possible. So I really want for you to take an inventory. What are some of those expenses that you have that's going to require you to write a check annually or semi-annually? The third thing I want you to take an allocation is what exactly is your debt payment? Now, that can be fixed if it's installment loan, and that can also be revolving if you have a revolving account. Now, this particular section is where I want people to get rid of that. And I do have a program where I actually teach people how to go about tackling the debt in the right way. Very strategic way where you are able to get your debt out in a very specific time frame and saving interest in the long run. So I have a course to teach you that too. And that's what I've been doing as a banker. I have pretty much put people on the right track. So instead of 20 years down the road or 10 years down the road, I shorten the process and save the interest in the long run. And the last thing that you gotta make sure that you take an inventory on is what some of those reserve. What I mean by reserved is very often people do not have anything saved up, either for college education or for car repair or any of those rainy day funds. That is not the same as savings account. That is something that I just need to reserve. I know my roof is going to leak, so let me just park some money on the side every month. So in the event this does happen, I can just pull the money to pay for it. So that is where I want you to start taking inventory. What are some of those associate costs that's going to get me through? And then you should only do this once every quarter just to make sure that everything is still within line. So this is the first step. The second step, I want to make sure that you have a clear understanding is where I go in very detail, and I do train people on how to save and how to budget, because to me it is very important for you to see a case study to know exactly how it works. So I'm just going to give you an overall framework of what bucket budgeting is. First, I believe that you got to make sure you separate all your accounts. The problem that people are overdrawn or they don't have enough money is because they're mixing all their account in one account. That money coming in, that money going out, and everything is all commingled to the point that they cannot really reallocate what happened. And they're like, oh my gosh, I know here's my debit card transactions, I know how much I have, but why is it that I'm overdrawn, and why is it I'm paying $28 of a service fee for the overdraft fees where I knew I have money? And that's the reason why in bucket budgeting, we advise people to make sure that you separate all that out. So first, you're gonna go ahead and have an account where you are going to put your net income. That's all there is to it. Second, you are going to allocate this account into 3 separate accounts. Account A, account B, and account C. And right after that, you are going to bucket even further. So in other words, you are going to have sub-activities of all these accounts. And the reason that you want to create this kind of tree, so that way all the money is being bucketed, but also the most important thing is this account here is where saving comes in, and this is where you are able to save more than 7 to 12 months of reserve funds if something ever goes wrong with you. So I just want to give you a very, very overview of how bucket budgeting works. I do have a course that I actually have a link underneath there, so if you would like, go ahead and click on the link and really check it out as far as how this whole thing works. Well, I hope you enjoyed the sessions. Until I see you next time, stay unique, be alive, and make an impact.